Hi all. So today let's see how we can do Angular unit testing using the Jest framework. So by default the unit test framework provided by Angular is the Karma Jasmine. So first we need to replace it with Jest. Let's first install all the dependencies that are needed by the Jest framework. So I'm going to install Jest, the typings for Jest, and a Jest preset for Angular, which will have the preset configurations needed by Angular in order to run Jest. So all the packages have been installed. Now let's go and see our package.json. So here you can see that the Jest and the other packages have been installed. Now we can go ahead and remove all the dependencies of Jasmine. So I am removing the types, Jasmine core, Karma. So that's it. Now we can also remove the test from our angular.json file. So we won't be using the ng test for running Jest. So we can remove this part. And also we can remove the Karma configuration file, which also we won't be needing, along with the test.ts. So now since we have removed all the references for Jasmine, we can go ahead and initialize the configuration for the Jest. So we can do that using npx jest init. So it is asking whether I should add a test script. So I am giving yes. I am not selecting TypeScript. We are using Jest for browser applications. So we don't need Node. We will be using the JS DOM, which is a browser-like implementation for running tests. So it is asking whether you need to add coverage reports. I am giving yes. I am selecting V8. So now our configuration file will be created. So this is our jest.config.js. It will contain all the configurations that are needed for running our unit tests. So now if you go to the package.json, you can see that an npm script has been added which is calling the Jest. So here we can pass the Jest configuration, jest.config.js, and we can give the input as source. So all the test spec files within the source folder will be run. So also one more thing we need to add, that is in our tsconfig spec.json. Here we need to modify the types from Jasmine to Jest. And also we can remove the test.ts since we are no longer using that. Since we have made use of the Jest preset for Angular, we can include that in our Jest config. So here just search for preset. So by default it will be undefined. So here we can give the Jest preset Angular. So it will be making use of a base configuration that is suited for running Jest in Angular. Similarly, already we have enabled the coverage. We can enable the coverage reporters as well. Whichever we need, we can enable. We can also make use of the setup files after env option. So this will contain all the code which we need to run before each test so that we can configure the testing framework. So here we can give the configuration or the code inside the setup jest.ts. Here we can create a file, and inside that we can import the Jest preset Angular setup Jest. One more thing we can give in our Jest configuration file is that we can add the Jest preset Angular ngCc Jest preprocessor. So what this does is basically, in case we are making use of any Angular libraries or any libraries which make use of the Vue engine, this particular command will compile all those libraries or packages into the IV compatible format. So it is always safe to add either this, or another way you can do is inside our package.json, we can add a post install, and there you can give the ngCc. This will be much more compact since it will compile only the packages which are made use by the unit tests. So here if you put it, it will be compiling all our packages from Vue engine to IV. So now let's go through each of our unit test files. So this project is exactly the same which I used for explaining the Angular Jasmine Karma unit testing framework. So I have just made use of the same files. So it will be the same application which will have a login page where you provide the username password, and once you validate the username password, you will be redirected to the home page where you will be shown a list of cities. So now let's go ahead and see each of our spec files. So first let us go to the home page. So we have the home component as well as the home service. So now let's go through each of them. So one thing to note is that even though we make use of Jest in turn makes use of Jasmine. Like internally it is built on top of Jasmine. So most of the commands which work in Jasmine will work here as well. But the Jasmine global object won't be available. So we need to identify such places where we have used this and replace them with the Jest equivalents. So here if you come, you can see that here we are making use of the Jasmine spy and the jasmine.create spy object. So this is basically used for mocking the HTTP client get method. So we will not be able to make use of this particular code. We need to write the equivalent code of this. So here in Jest, we have something called jest.function. So the equivalent of a spy is jest.function. So how we can remove the create spy object is basically we are mocking the get method. So we can create an object with the key as get, and here you can just use jest.function. So this will in turn be returning a mock, just.mock. So here what you need to do is, since we are assigning the HTTP client spy, we can change the type to just.mock. So mock is a special object which will have multiple functionalities which is similar to jasmine.spy. So once we have replaced this, the remaining code, everything will be very much similar. So all these are supported. So here one thing that is not supported is like we can make use of the AND property within the spy. So since we are not using spy anymore, we won't be able to make use of the and the get is actually a mock. So as I told, the mock will contain multiple utility methods as you can see here. So the equivalent of the return value is mock resolved value. So you can directly call that method from the mock object and you will be able to return a particular test data which is a promise wrapped up in an observable. So other things are all same. Now let's go to the home component. So inside the home component again we have created some stubs for our services. So all those things are exactly similar. We needn't touch anything here. So in fact, we don't have any changes in our home component. So now let's go to the login component. So inside our login component, Again, this is exactly similar, like I have created a page object, so there and all no changes are needed. But again, we have the Jasmine spy here, so we need to replace that with the just function. So here we are mocking the login method, so we can just replace it with the just function, and the type we can change just dot mock. Same way we can replace the router spy. We don't need the router spy anymore. So we can replace it with the just function. And the remaining things are very much similar. So here in the Angular part where we create the components, fixtures and all, we needn't make any changes. Everything, the assertions, everything are very much similar, and there is only very minor changes. One such change is that I'll be showing that. So here again we have the same issue, like we are typecasting it as jasmine.spy, so we can replace it with just.mock. So once we do that, again we have the same issue which we faced earlier. We can make use of the mock resolved value. Same way here as well, we need to replace it as just.mock. And here we have a property called mock. So within that we have the calls, and we don't have any first utility. So basically what we are doing here is we need the first occurrence, so we can directly make use of 0, and we don't need the args here, so we can directly remove the args, and you can access the calls directly using the two-dimensional array. And here again we have the same issue. You should use the just.mock, and instead of return value you can use mock return value. Everything else is similar. Here we have the reject with. So basically this is a error scenario in which actually we are throwing an error from within the API code, so that a particular error message will be displayed, that is login failed. So here again we need to change it to just.mock, and here for rejection what we can do is we can use a mock implementation, and here you can call an anonymous function, and inside that you can throw a new error. So again just copy the error message, and this will be the type of error that will be thrown from within our mock implementation. So that should be triggering our failure scenario, and we will be able to display our login failed within our error message. Similarly, we have the login service. So again here as well, it is very much similar. There are no mocks, so no spies which we need to replace. And here one thing to note is that, as I told earlier, the assertions are almost similar, but just does not accept a second parameter for this aspect. So Jasmine allows that. That will basically be an error message, custom error message we can pass. So just does not allow that, so we can basically remove that. So in case we need to emulate this, we need to use third-party libraries, or we can wrap them within a try catch, and in case any error comes we can catch that and display our error message. So here I am just removing that. Now let's go to the shared and the capitalized pipe. So here also there is not change. And finally the directive, the highlight directive. So here also we are not making use of any spice or anything. So we can ignore that. So here again we have that same thing. We are passing a second parameter. So that is not needed. So one more place we have the same issue. So we can remove here as well. Now let's go ahead and just run our test and see whether it is running successfully. So here you can see that the Jest processor is actually compiling View Engine packages into IV. So it will be done only a single time. So after that, Jest is running all our spec files. So it is run parallelly actually. You can see that 7 threads are running. So the number of threads are automatically decided, and it usually depends on number of processor cores within our system. So there are some errors which are coming now. So one error is the lodash-es. So this is actually a ESM module. So we cannot use them directly. Like Jest does not support ESM modules directly unless an experimental feature is enabled. So as of now, I am just replacing the lodash-es with lodash. So let's go to our Jest config. We have something called a module name mapper. So I am going to add lodash-es here. And I am saying that whenever you see the import lodash-es, just replace it with lodash. So since lodash is a dependency for lodash-es, it will be already present within the node modules. So once we add that, we can run the test once more. So here the test failed actually. So what happened is within our home component, the home service, actually instead of and return value, actually I gave the mock result value. So the correct thing is mock return value. So once I give this, the error should be gone. Same thing happened here as well. So once we have changed that, let's rerun our application. So one more thing is here a warning is coming like the ES module interop should be set as true if you have any issues while running. So I am just enabling that within our spec tsconfig. So now let's rerun our unit test. So now you can see that all the warnings as well as the errors are gone, and also we are able to see the coverage for our code. So in case you want to see the coverage details, you can go here and inside the coverage folder, it will be showing the LCOV report. This is similar to the one which we have in Jasmine. So one thing to note is that here it is listing the HTML files as well. So we can ignore this within our Jest config. So we have something called coverage exclude, coverage path ignore. So here we can give dot HTML. So this should take care of that. Now when we rerun the test, the HTMLs won't be included in the coverage report. So here you can see that the HTML files are excluded. And also one thing to note is that here you can see some times which are shown in red color. So this basically means that in case the spec took a bit more time to run above the normal runtime, it will be showing all the specs which have this issue with this red color. So Jest provides an easier method in which we can do the same assertion. So here in the expect, we can pass the login service dot login method with the input data. And here we can make use of the results property, and we can check any assertion, like here I am checking to equal and I am passing the test data. So you can see that this particular then and everything we can easily remove, making use of this shorthand way, which just provides for asynchronous operation. Similarly, we have something called the regex, which can be used for handling the failure scenario. So here in our test case, we have a failure scenario. So here again, what we are doing is we are mocking a test result, and here we have provided the status as 500. So this will mean an error, HTTP error. And here we are saying like in case it is success, it should fail. And in case of an error, we are asserting that the error status is 500 and the error message is status 500 error. So here again, we can make use of the same asynchronous operators. So again, we can pass the login service dot login input data, and here we can make use of regex, and here you can check whether this particular object, that is an error. So for that we can use to match object, and within that we can pass the object as status 500 and error EMSG. So this is the shorthand way in which we can implement the same functionality. And one thing to note is that in case I run this, so let's run that. So now you saw that each time we make a change, we need to manually rerun the jest. So for avoiding that, we can do one thing. Inside our package JSON, we can add a new step called test watch. So there is a watch mode for jest. So for activating that, you can just pass the option -- watch. Now let's run the command in watch mode. So basically watch mode, what it does is it opens a watch mode view, and there you have multiple options, like you can select to run all the test cases, or you can filter out some test cases and run only those. Even the failed test cases you can rerun. Lot of options are there, and once you make any change in the spec file, automatically the just will be rerun. So that's one main advantage of using the watch mode. So here you can see we have a lot of options, like you can run all the test, only the failed test, only the changes like the files which changed, only those tests we can rerun. We can even filter based on the file name, regex, or the test name, and you can exit from the watch mode. So now let's go to the spec, and here you can see that actually we are testing for the error status 500. So now in case I removed this and made it as a positive way. So previously what happened, we had a then, and inside that, in case of success, we were forcefully failing the test case, making use of the global fail method. So now since we have removed that, the problem is that now all the specs will be successfully ran. So here you can see that the spec was actually shown as successful, but there was an unhandled exception that occurred. So this is one problem while using jest. There can be unhandled promise rejection, and these won't be shown as a failure in our test report. So here you can see that it is showing like all the test suites and test cases have passed. So for ensuring that this does not happen, what we can do is we can say like we expect these many assertions to be evaluated. So in this case, you can see there are two assertions. So we can give it here. Now what happened is like when we successfully resolve this, this particular assertion won't be executed and the count will be actually 1. So this assertion will fail. So now you can see that here it is saying like we received only one assertion call, but we are expecting 2. So because of that, the assertion will fail and the test case will also be failed. So here now we can just revert the whole thing. Now you can see that in case I save this, automatically our test will be rerun and all the test case will be successful. So just provides a feature called snapshot testing. So what basically it does is like we can capture the snapshot of a particular page, like a particular component. So for example, this home component, I can take a snapshot at a particular point of time and that snapshot will be saved in our code base. So the next time the unit test is run, basically just will be comparing this particular snapshot, the which has been committed with the current snapshot. In case there is any mismatch, it will be failing the unit test. So now let's see how we can do that. So this is our home page spec file. So here basically I am going to add a snapshot test. So here we can give expect fixture. So fixture is our component fixture and here we can give to match snapshot. So that's it. So now when we run this, it shows that a particular snapshot has been written. So now if we go to our home, you can see that a folder called snapshot has been created and within that the snapshot of our home component has been created. So this is the description of the home component and here you can see the HTML of our home component. So you can see that it is displaying the images like the p tag, the img tag, everything. So now suppose I go ahead and make some change here. So I am going to change the image name. Now in case I save this, so now you can see that it actually failed. So what happened is like it compared with the previous snapshot and it saw that the particular line has been changed. So you can see what's the difference as well. So this was the previous one, that's the expected value, and this is the current one. So this is the way in which snapshot testing works. So in case I had like intentionally modified this and I need to update the snapshot, I can do that running the just update snapshot command. So here, since it is a mistake, it will be showing that. So in case I reverted it back, now the snapshot testing will be successful. So similarly, we can create snapshot for our login component spec as well. So here again, I'm going to add expect fixture to match snapshot. Same thing I will give here as well. So now since I have given it in multiple test cases, let's see what happens. So 2 snapshots have been written. So now if you go to the file, you can see that only a single file has been created, but there will be multiple entries for the snapshot. So this is the first one. that is a login component invalid credentials, and this is the second one for login error. So you can see the actual error message, everything that will be stored in our snapshot. So this is one major advantage of using Jest. So now let's see how we can debug our unit test which is written in Jest using the Chrome. So this is the command which we need to run. So basically we are using the node and we are saying that we need to break at the first line of our jest.js. So why we are doing that is so that we can set up the breakpoint for our actual unit test. So again we are giving the run in band, that is run once unit test at a time, not parallelly, and we are enabling the watch mode and giving the source name. So once we give enter, you can see a port number here 9229. So you can open Chrome and give Chrome inspect. So here there is an option called open dedicated DevTools for node. Click on that. So in case there are multiple node options, node processes, it will be shown as a list. Since there is only a single one, it is directly opening our node. So here it has hit the breakpoint which we give in our jest.js. Now we can go ahead. So once it starts executing our test cases, we will be able to set breakpoints within our spec files, and here again it will be as usual. You can put breakpoints and run. You will be able to debug and check what is the current value, everything. This is just like normal JavaScript debugging in Chrome. So now let's see how we can debug the same unit test using the VS Code. So here in VS Code, we can create a launch.json file. So here basically we can give a configuration, and here I have created a configuration named debug jest test, and the type is node, and I am requesting to launch that, and within that I am giving the runtime arguments. So these are the same whatever I gave it in the command, the same thing, that inspect break. I am asking to break on the first line of jest, and I am passing the run in band, that is to run it serially. And here one variable we are using, file base name no extension. So what it basically means is, so suppose you want to debug our login component spec. So what we can do is we can just open this particular spec file. So the launch.json, this particular variable, what it does is it will run the debugger on this particular currently open file. So once you press the debug, it will open in the internal terminal, and it will run the process on the 9229. So now let's see. Just click on the debug jest. So here you can see that a terminal has started up, and here you can just place the debugger in any of the lines. So now it has started running our spec file, and now the debugger has hit. So here as usual we can do the various steps like continue, step over, step in, step out, and even restart the command. So here I am going to use F10, so I can debug as usual, and you will be able to see the contents of this, like the error message, everything we will be able to debug similar to whatever we saw in the Chrome. When we run our test cases using Jest, you saw that the test cases are actually run in parallel. But in case we are doing this in our build server or a CI process, maybe the build server may not be able to run all this parallelly. So it is always better to run the test cases serially. So for that, what we can do is here we can pass the run in band option. So this particular command we can make use in our CI/CD process, and there it will be executing the test one by one, and it will be executing much faster than making use of multiple threads. Hope you are able to get a good idea of how we can write unit test for Angular using Jest. See you soon. Thank you.